Musea issue, Sci-Fi Physics, number 207. This issue of Musea is the Y issue, Sci-Fi Physics, from a sci-fi writer. Here I present a new paradigm in quantum physics, with lots of speculation gathered over the last 2 years. Keep in mind as you read this that 95% of what's here is based on what is known now, and the entire piece is a cohesive concept with most parts connected. This equation states that a photon Y can create an electron E- and a positron E+ pair. That simple statement may explain every aspect of physics. 2 summaries of this issue. Version 1, physics is either photons or particle pairs. Version 2, there are 2 universes. The first one is photon light energy. The second one is particle pairs. DIMP stands for dimensionless point. Dim, dimensionless, P, point. This is a single point outside the universe that contains all light. This is a challenging concept and difficult to even imagine. How can anything, let alone all light energy, be in a point without dimension? How can Dimp be outside space and time in a 0 point and at the same time everywhere? Simple answer, it's not part of our universe. It's part of the speed of light universe. Sounds strange? Sure does. But it's based on what we know now. When you understand my single concept of Dimp, the dimensionless point of light, the rest of these physics ideas fall into place. So I will try to explain it in a couple of ways. Read this section carefully. Dimp, the dimensionless point of all light, is a single point that contains all photons. For visual purposes, think of photons as little pieces of light. That means Dimp contains all electromagnetic energy in a single dimensionless point. That means all light is in a single point, a point that doesn't have 4 dimensions or 3 or 2 or even 1. Pauli's exclusion principle is a clue. It says all photons, a type of boson, can be in one point, while their counterpoint, fermions, cannot. Remember, a photon does not occupy space. There is no limit to how many can occupy the same quantum state. Photons, all of them, can be in a single point. And they are. By definition, we know that photons are outside of time and distance. Infinite time dilation, no time, goes hand in hand with infinite length contraction, no distance to the destination. Because a photon is outside time, it is eternal. Because a photon is outside distance, there is no distance between any 2 photons. They are all together in an eternal point. They share a dimensionless point. That means all light is in one point. If there is no distance, then photons are everywhere at once, or everywhere at once and back. That means that the photons in the singularity that started the Big Bang and our entire universe are here now today and will be here forever in the future. Here's an official quote from physics.org. From the perspective of a photon, there is no such thing as time. It doesn't experience distance either. My idea that all light energy is gathered in Dimp, a single dimensionless point, eternal and outside of space-time, is not easy to comprehend. Let's try this visual analogy. Look at photons, not as individual particles or waves of light, but as a quantum energy field that is everywhere at once, a blanket of light energy that surrounds everything in the universe and is in every part of space-time at the same time, a light cloud. Still with me? Because Dimp is eternal and outside time, that means Dimp is all of these things. Here before the Big Bang, during the Big Bang, and here long after this universe will have ended. It's a vast reservoir of all energy. Our universe, where there is space and time, is a small subset that broke away from Dimp during the Big Bang, just as an ember is a small subset that broke away from a massive bonfire. Dimp was the singularity, the dimensionless point that the Big Bang exploded out of. That means Dimp is separate from not only time and distance, but gravity, mass, space, you name it. There is no acceleration in Dimp, therefore no gravity. There is no expansion in Dimp and no charge. Further, the virtually endless amount of energy in Dimp never changes. That is some weird point. Dimp, the dimensionless point of light concept, seems to help explain all of the following separate concepts: cosmological constant, zero-point energy, virtual particles, entanglement or spooky action or distance, and vacuum energy. Dimp also means the electromagnetic force and force of gravity are not connected. They are separate and cannot be unified. The simplest way to explain Dimp is to start by saying there are two universes. The first universe is Dimp, the dimensionless point or the universe of photons, light and energy, where everything goes the speed of light. The second universe is a subset of the first called space-time, where everything goes slower than the speed of light. This is the universe of everything that is, but photons. Nothing in Dimp goes slower than the speed of light. Nothing in space-time goes the speed of light. Does that help clarify? But wait, it's not quite that simple. The problem is that to travel at the speed of light, one has to have both time and distance. But a photon, from its point of view, is outside of both time and distance. From our space-time point of view, it looks like photons are going a set distance in a set time, but that is our illusion, not their fact. So speed of light is a misnomer. Physics over and over uncovers a dark zone of unexplained and weird phenomenon in the universe. Dimp is that dark zone and may help explain the following. 1. The singularity, where the Big Bang began. 2. Dimp, the dimensionless point of all photons, all light. 3. The dark area in an atom during a quantum jump where the electron instantly jumps over from shell to shell. Everything in the quantum mechanical universe happens in quantum leaps, discontinuous transits between quantum states, and electrons jumps instantly into another energy level. There is no in-between state, and it doesn't take any time for the leap to occur. Moring. M-O-R-I-N-G. 4. The empty zone is an atom where the electron orbital is not. 5. The two-slit experiment, black bands where no particles, waves land. 6. The nodes of waves where the particle probability is 0. 7. When two mirror image waves collide, destructive interference occurs which annihilates both waves and turns them into pure energy. Dimp is that pure energy. 8. Virtual particles where particle A and particle B pop up out of the void, then come together, and there is total annihilation. 9. Quantum tunneling. The space between when particle A disappears on one side and materializes on the other. 10. The space between entangled particles where A and B are strangely and instantly connected, no matter the distance between them. 11. Electromagnetic force carriers. 12. The infinities that renormalization tries to fix. With Dimp, they are correct as is. 13. Wheeler's Great Smoky Dragon analogy, where A is the head of the dragon, B is the tail of the dragon, and the area between is smoke. 14. The 120 orders of magnitude of the vacuum energy density or cosmological constant. 15. Non-locality may also be explained by Dimp, which is outside of time and space. Where is Dimp? Everywhere that there is vacuum energy or space, or everywhere. That's because any surface not at absolute zero emits photons, and absolute zero can't be reached. Dimp is outside and inside space-time. But wait, more weirdness. Photons don't go anywhere. Remember the speed of light problem? Photons do not move out of Dimp. If they did, they would have time and distance, which they do not. And everything in the universe goes slower than the speed of light. Photons seem to convert to electron-positron pairs or dark energy when they enter the universe. There, everything is going slower than the speed of light, and the electron-positron pairs have mass and are affected by gravity. Photons don't travel, they pop. They pop in at A and then pop out at B instantly. What looks like photons traveling at the speed of light is more likely time dilation from our point of view. Textbooks say the only interactions a photon has are to be created or destroyed. We see a photon being created or destroyed, but nothing in between. Through pair conversion, Dimp sends messengers, electron-positron pairs, as the energy to do the work. That suggests that electrons and positrons are vehicles for photon energy. That means when a photon pops up in our universe, it does so only as an electron-positron pair, and those particle pairs are the energy that does the work. We know that as an object approaches the speed of light, it becomes heavier and approaches infinite mass. Infinite mass is also infinite energy, E = mc squared. It contracts in length and time slows. Could that object keep going faster, it would reach the speed of light and be outside of time and be eternal. So, if mass could go the speed of light, and it can only approach it, it would be infinite energy with no length in a single dimensionless point outside of time. Sound familiar? That is Dimp. Totally confused? Take a break and try this visual exercise. The light from all stars shine out in every direction with eternal photons that are everywhere all at once. Look and see. A web of photons and a blanket of energy connects all space and all time, now and forever. A net of immortal light.